Hello everyone and welcome, my name's Greg. Today I'm going to be taking on the Tier 7 Dacian Warriors with Burst and Zentrix on Oasis. Giving you a quick symptomatic intro here before we hit the slot selection and get the battle underway. I do quite like the Falx unit, particularly on Burst and Zentrix. I think the Iron Discipline and the Scorched Earth really make him a very good option for the infantry. On the Barbarian faction, the speed of 371 movement speed I have right now, 87 morale flanking damage, so if played rightly you can really support the heavy infantry, which is what I'm going to try and do here, and support the tier 10 swordsman there, your mum, and see if I can work the flanks around the outside of his engagements, get the units routing so we can just hack them down and make our way around the map. We do have a couple of range units on this side, which is going to make it very easy, particularly dealing with the dogs, which are going to prove quite a problem for me. So let's see how we go. I can see here we have lots of dogs coming towards repeating crossbows. Kind of just going to sacrifice one of my Falx units here to try and let him escape. I don't want the dogs just to run forward and kill off all of the repeating crossbows, because I don't want them to get a lot of XP really early and gain a chevron without really trying, because they could be literally sitting up there in the D spawn location and unleashed all the way up here, kill off all the units, heal up straight away, get his dogs back, and he's probably got a chevron on all three. So I want to avoid that from happening if possible. Kill the dogs off, send that unit back to heal, and I'll bring him back forward once he's healed up, and move the other two units up with the rest of our battle line that seems to be advancing quite quickly towards D. Here is where we see we have some tier 6 spears, we have tier 9 pikes. The tier 9 pikes are supported by 2 tier 8 archers, which are about to come into vision, and we have tier 5 swordsmen. So just going to try and burn them a bit, soften them up, see if we can give the archers from our side a bit of time to really weaken them, see if we can make the equation a lot more in our advantage, and then try and work the flanks on those spears. So I'm going to let the swordsman go in first, see if I can get a side flank and possibly even a rear flank, and just route the unit, kill him off, get the XP up, and then look for the next unit to basically do the same thing on. He has done pretty well there to position himself in a location that we can only attack him from one side. Effectively, he would be very strong from the front, so what I'm going to do is just try and hit him from the side, send one more unit around the back, get the rear flank. I was actually very lucky here that I nearly straight away got the rear flank, even though my unit was kind of on the side there, so that was very lucky here. And as soon as he's routed, I'm sending one of the units out, leaving the other unit in there to hit him with the strike moves, hit him with the hamstring, and then try and get my other unit in a position where he can do the same thing on the other spear, and that way we can just cycle through the units we're going to try and route here. So I've got the right flank on him. Unfortunately, we don't have anything else just yet. He's backing away really well into a defensive position whilst the other unit comes up, and he's going to go back and try and heal up. I do have those archers up in the tree line, which are going to cause me a lot of problems. You can see they are sending volleys in right now, and it's taking out about 20% of my unit on each individual volley, so I kind of need to get this engagement over and done with quickly. So I'm going to send my unit 3 around the building there, because he's using that building to actually prevent me from getting side flank on. And what I'm going to do is charge into the back of him and get the rear flank. So the tier 10 swordsman there is going to last a lot longer than what my relatively brittle Falxes will. So what I need to do is try and make myself as useful in this engagement as long as possible. My other unit can still get the flanks on in there, but he's not going to be able to survive as long against spears. So just drew my other first unit back there at A into the heal zone, just in case my unit dies off and I want him to respawn quickly. And what I want to do here is try and get myself as close as possible to where those other units are on the edge of D, just in case he gets his pike phalanx down and starts walking in and contests it. Going to have to charge out, and unfortunately he just got the pike phalanx activated before I hit him, but we have been able to get the hamstring and slam on before he's been able to actually get close enough there, so it's slowed him down to the point where we've actually captured the point before he's gotten in there to contest. So we can just pull everyone out now, go back and heal, and then reassess the situation from there. So let's see what we can do next. I'm going to try and go through the middle of Blackie here and see if I can magic up a flank somewhere in here, kill a couple more units. His repeating crossbows from this kind of range probably won't be able to do too much to me, but you know, my presence in there will hopefully help out a tiny bit. Apologies before I said slam, it's actually cleave. Slam is the dog strike move, so yeah. Anyway, let's heal these guys up, bring in my first unit back up here, because now that we've captured D, there's no point me having anyone back there, and let's see what we can get done next. We do still have those pikes that are walking into the tier 10 swordsman there, so I'm going to have to go up there and support him and see if I can help out. The other two units have healed up now, so I'm going to send all three up there and see if we can get rid of that pike player. We do have the ranged players setting volleys in there. That's going to soften him up before I get in there. And then we need to chase those archers away. I don't want them just lingering around that area and us forgetting about them. So let's send the units out here in different directions, see if we can flush them out. Here we go, there's the first one. Going to send some flames in towards them. See if I can get some kills in early. Probably should have charged in there instead of actually sending the flames in. Unfortunately, my charge was a tiny bit misguided there. Didn't make it as well as I wanted to. Sending some flames in there towards the spears. Once again, see if I can soften them up a tiny bit. Was able to catch the tier 8 archers up there, which is awesome. Get the cleave and the hamstring on, slow them down so I can keep killing them as they try and flee. Unfortunately, my charge was a bit mistimed there. They do still have the unit in there, which is contesting, so I've got to get on either side of him and see if I can soften him up with some flames and then hit his flank. So was able to get a surprising left flank, and then that's just pretty much enough to actually rout him. So that's very good there. He was able to get a shield bash off. Looks like he's holding on for a little bit. But right now we've got D. We're about to kill the last unit that's contesting it. I'm copping a couple of volleys there from a friend. I'm constantly trying to click onto that archer unit just in case. All I need to do is hit one of their units and hamstring one of them. The whole unit will slow down and then I'll be able to catch them and rout them very quickly. He's starting to get some distance on me now, but he actually stopped there to send a volley in, and I thought my charge was going to get him. Unfortunately, didn't get him straight away, but I was able to just clip him after he got around that building, and that's enough for me to get my hamstring on, and he's done there. My other unit's coming back to try and find those archers. I really don't like just leaving them there to go back and heal and keep their XP, so if I can chase them out, I will, but I've got to be mindful that I can't be on all fronts at once, and it could be a bit of a waste of time. So made the decision here to pull him back and try and consolidate where all my units are to better maneuver around where I am. So at this point, we did make a good press early up towards the E capture point. We did take it. They have flipped that back now, so that's back on their side. And our team's starting to notify us that we do need to help out the B locations. So I'm a bit too far away to do anything about that, but I can certainly come towards C and then make an assessment as to where we need to go next. We have the elephants marching in there now, and I do have, you know, the tier 10 swords coming across. We have the repeating crossbows there, and we can probably move towards C now from different directions. And the good thing about Oasis is the sea is very central, like most of the maps, but there's a lot of different entry points to it. There's 3 on both sides of those large rocky mountain features there. So what that does mean is that you can approach them from a lot of different angles and apply pressure from everywhere. And you can see here, we've got one repeating crossbow up there, we've got the second one that's towards their base. I'm coming in from where that other repeating crossbow is. We've got the tier 10 swords, my Falcons is coming across from that side. And I'm sending another unit around the other side of that rocky hill. And we've got the glaives coming in from our base. So there's only really 2 exit points for them here, and both of them are the long grass, which, you know, they're probably not going to try and go through there right now because they don't know what's on the other side. So what I'm able to do is send some flames in there, make it uncomfortable for them to pull out, and then charge into those tier 3 archers, which aren't going to do too much against me. Going to leave one of my units up there at the C spawn location, just in case someone tries to go back and heal, or if someone respawns, I'll be able to slow them up there and prevent their advance into that location. So we are making good progress here in getting rid of the units inside C. Going to charge into the back of the spears here, try and get the rear flank, route them, and then I can go into there and start capturing the point. We do still have those archers sending some volleys in there, so I'm going to send my unit 1 over to him and see if I can get some cheap kills there. And then he's been dealt with now, so I can send him across to the other spear unit and get rid of him. And it looks like we've flushed everyone out of C, so let's get in there, capture the point, and look at where else we need to go. It looks like they've just done a bit of a sneaky and moved some units up towards D. Looks like it's a dog player because he's unleashed into the long grass, so let's make our way over there with the unit that's on C spawn and heal up the other 2. We've got the elephant moving in there, so it's going to be awesome for holding that location until we can get units over there to assist. So the dog unit isn't going to be able to do too much just yet. He can't really get any flanks on him because you can't route an elephant, but he will be able to slam him down every couple of seconds, and it will drop him down in a bit of health. But we do have the other 2 elephants coming across, and we're about to have our ranged players too. C is locked for another minute, so we've got plenty of time for everyone to come back and heal, move back into C, set up a defensive perimeter, and half of those units can come across to D and help out. What I'm going to do here is try and approach from what would be their blind side, send some flames in, scorched earth them, weaken them up a bit, and then charge in, try and hamstring them, keep them within the scorched earth as long as possible, and kill them off. I'm not too sure what's being indicated there up in the tree line, so I'm doing some squiggling. But what I'm going to do is try and just hold him in here, hit my defiance, and you can see there those archers made very light work of those dogs. Dogs can be extremely useful, but archers can deal with them very comfortably if the archers aren't under any pressure. So now I'm just sitting in here, the D capture point. We'll retake this, and then we'll make a decision as to where we go next. The glaives are holding C quite strongly. My other 2 units have healed up, they're coming up here, and it looks like we had a light artillery sitting up there in the tree line, not doing too much. The other team's kind of acknowledged that things aren't looking too well for them at this point, setting up the GGs quite early. The spears are trying to march their way in, kind of the blobbed wall, which I do sometimes with spears. When you got really only one direction you need to go, there's nothing going to be coming in from behind, there's no risk of getting rear flanked, so you can go through and just basically blob your way through, and funnily enough it kind of prevents you from being rear flanked if you've got your 2 units with you, unless someone can really effectively get in behind one of them. So sending one of my units up here into the grass, see if I can capture those archers, try and just get a side flank here on the spears, and I'm going to bring my other unit across to C to help out with this fight. What I'm trying to do here is I'm not actually trying to chase after those archers, I'm just trying to get vision on them so the repeating crossbow could have, but I was able to capture him, so pretty happy there. Always love capturing the archers out, and some easy kills there once I get within range of him. So it looks like we're doing pretty well here. The other team are contesting B. They're currently in C, but we're about to clear them out. They're holding E quite easily. We have no idea what's up there. We haven't committed anything in that direction for a long time. My second unit over there, my third, has healed up, sending 1 and 2 over to the C spawn to heal him up, and pretty much from here all we need to do is hold D and C, and it's a pretty simple equation. A couple of our units are chasing him up at the base spawn for the enemy team. Just keeping an eye on what's happening at B. Not too concerned about what's happening, but they did have quite a strong presence from there, so if they were a bit crafty and they had the health, then they could probably look to try and push towards our base. Like, they have at least 8 units in there, so if they were to get rid of those tier 10 swords, they could try and push up towards the base. So I just sent a message into the chat there just to keep an eye on it, see what's going on, and you know, we've got to be mindful of that because it is quite easy to get base capped if you're not paying attention. And so those dogs have come back into C, and you have the glaives moving up there quite quickly, so he's very isolated. If the dogs are able to get around him, you can see that he's got the morale going down quite quickly there, but he does have God of War, and he'd be able to activate that quite easily to prevent the routing from taking place. Dogs coming in a bit late there. I'm not too sure if they had them deployed and then unleashed them to come back, but it looks like they did releash them to bring them out into the battlefield. So going to get a nice rear charge here onto the dogs, get the rear flanks and the other unit from the side there. And from both of them, I'm just going to click on one unit at a time and just work the flanks and try and get them routed as quickly as possible. You can see there, we'll be able to get 1 down, 2 down, keep one of the units engaged in the fight to kill off the routing units and send 1 unit around the back here. Unfortunately, with the strike move, I am slowed down for a period of time, but that's fine. It's just a drawback from that move. And we're going to be able to kill these dogs quite quickly. They don't pose too much of a threat to glaives and falxes in one area, especially if we're able to get around them like this. So this battle is wrapping up very quickly. At this point, the chat starts to start up between the two teams. It was a bit funny. Quite a few of these guys I do play with and talk to quite often, so a bit of friendly banter between us isn't exactly the worst thing in the world. It makes the game a bit more interesting sometimes, but it looks like this battle is drawing to an end, so not too much left to say about this one. It was a pretty good battle from us. We worked our way around quite effectively. We were able to press up onto D really quickly and flush them out of there. And if you can take control of one side of the map and you're pressing a bit on the other side on this one, you're doing pretty well, because then you can just collapse in towards C. Obviously the D spawn location is quite close to C. You just got to jump over that hill and you're there. So here's a good map on one side to be pushing very quickly. And we did that very well. The Elephants made some very good decisions, and this one's wrapping up. Just having a look at the scoreboard to see how everyone's done. Both sides actually did pretty well in terms of their kills, but just the fact that we were able to take the capture points meant that we were able to control the battle a lot more effectively than what they are. Scoreboard's just coming up now, so we'll have a quick look at that and see where we landed. Hey, MVP, nice. So let's see how we actually went in terms of the capture points taken and the overall kills. So not exactly the massive amount of kills, but it wasn't too bad. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think, and have a good day. Bye.